Where is your sister? Can you please stand up? She could be the best Chinese speaker in Uganda. Give her a mic. Give her a mic up, please. Because, I mean, the best way we've been able to do the things is to be practical. You know? Remember, I'm washing through the points. Be the best, be exceptional at what you do. Okay? And especially for you who are still at school. When you do something, be there. Leave no room. They say, there's so much space up there. So, Now, how can you say it in Chinese? With everything you do in life, make sure you be the best.
所有做的事，你应该要做最好的。Okay, look, 你所有对你所有做的事，你应该做最好的。
Oh my God. I agree with you. So please don't be mean. Remember, guys, don't be mean. Put your hands together and clap for her. Remember this. Don't forget it. Everything you do, however small it is, at the point where you be the best. When they are asking, when you go to ask your boss or your senior that can I have an off on Saturday, you will not be negotiating. They'll just give it to you. When you say, I only do my work up to Friday, everybody will come, so you get them done on Friday, so you have your off on Saturday. Dr. Faith, when she comes back, if she gets it, we get a chance to speak to her. So remember to be exceptional. Be the best at what you do. You see what Emma does? So recently I saw, they say he had to flew from Tanzania. Give me other people that you know that do what he does. He could literally sing with all the choirs. Okay? So I think this thing has got something to do with their family. They are exceptional people. So doing business as an Adventist. So the last point, I think I've mixed those up, but I've provided you some answers to that. This is my last one, ladies, especially you guys who are still young. Rebel the systems. You didn't understand. Thank you so much. Rebel the system. Yeah. The system wants you to be under it. You will never be discovered. And you too, you will never know who you are. If you don't rebel the system. The second person to rebel is you. Don't allow the laziness of your body. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to try. You know, you see, you know. They say me, I don't know. You see, me, I failed. Everybody failed. You just don't know. Yeah, I agree. Everybody failed. You know? So rebel every system, including your system, until everything around systems is giving you the best of you. Only the best of you, remember. Okay? So, because when you do that, you will then know who you are. Don't forget to try early on everything. Whatever you see in life, give it a shot. There's no way you will know it can work or it can't work unless you give it a shot. The last thing you don't want to have is fear about Advent. You see this guy, I saw this boy grow. And Sharon there. If it were not for their parents, possibly I wouldn't have been an Adventist. And I would like you to clap for them. They're your parents. But now you are ABI of your parents. Whenever I see these sentences, I bow down. And I told Sharon today, when you want to go home and it's late and it's beyond 9, you don't take a order. You call me. Yes. Even you. I mean, no, you have a car. You have a car. So their family, if it were not their family, I wouldn't have been Adventist. And there's something special I got from this church. But there's so many things I don't like about the community. And they have nothing to do with how the theology was written. It has got a lot to do with the laziness of the people. Why do American Adventists live a very high standard life? Very accomplished. The Ugandan and African Adventists have a lot of reasons to tell you how they are poor and things are not working. You see, he's an engineer. She's got a doctor. He is an engineer. And they are not just engineers of small things or doctor of small things. Petroleum. First time. Uganda is now oil producing country. No, it definitely will. First generation. Muchikacha muchonna. Petroleum engineer. Yes. Muchitagera. So guys, remember, where you come from, you could be the first lawyer. You could be the first business person. Bulichimuchigeze can do what? Do your best. Stop being lazy. Let me tell you, there's no God, as far as I know God, that is happy for you because you're suffering. Hakuna. Yes, thank you. Even if you come here and cry, we have cried tears. If tears would be blood, we have cried. And that didn't change anything. What changed things is to say, Nakulabieko, Sebo, I am doing this, can you help me? And this person says, okay, they will delay, maybe they won't help you. Don't have a small heart on them, right? Like, oh, Tebanyambi, try another person. But remember, be exceptional. People that are exceptional, Bazimu Kukweka.
But can you allow me jump into that? Yes. In what he has just said, as Adventists or as believers, don't sit down on yourself. And I'm going to share personal experiences, and these are not stories. NVIDIA is probably that should be the most valued company, I think, on the NASDAQ. Most valued company in the world. Now, you'll be very surprised that the biggest companies out there that you be fearing actually want you because they want to access you. So, we had an event in Dubai last year in October. It was an AI event. So there was some other work I was doing in AI. So we walked to the stall with the friend of mine I was working with and tell him, okay, who's leading this stall? And it was it was a director for Africa, Middle East, and Europe. It was a lady. So we can meet her. We're like, okay, what do you do? So we explain what we do. So she goes technical to ask things, I think, to gauge whether we could match her up. And she asked to give the correct answer, like you have just said, be exceptional in what you do. And she was blown away and she was wondering, you don't have infrastructure in Africa. How do you know these things? And because of that, they enrolled us into the NVIDIA program. So difficult to get into because now you're in the same pool with startups from Stanford, from the Silicon Valley area, and NVIDIA is dedicating resources. And for her, she also has a KPI, and never forget this whenever you meet big people. She also has a KPI that I must have a certain number of startups from Africa. So when you present yourself, you've solved her problem in a way that you cannot imagine. Because if she doesn't meet you there, that means she has to come to Kampala, and then she goes through our politicians who are going to take her in circles, and she doesn't get what she wants. So in whatever you're doing, in my work, I've met so many people who have, because I'm a client-facing person. I meet companies and it looks so big and even afraid of talking to the CEO. Then you're like, okay, where are you from? I'm from Uganda. They're like, oh, there was a Tilenga project happening. What opportunities are there? Now, because you're good at what you do, you share everything. And before you know it, the guy says, come to my office on Monday. And then you come and then they start asking you, where did you study from? I'm like, I studied from Uganda. They're like, no way, it's not possible. You didn't study from Uganda. I'm like, that's where I went to school. I've not studied abroad from any other school. So be good at what you do. These big multinational companies that you can think about want your solution, or they want this. There's something you have that they don't have access to. There's a big company out there that wants to come into your field. Could be a financier, could be a bank, irrespective of your skill set that you're doing. There's a big company out there that you look at and they need someone like you to solve their problem. That has been my journey, and of course it has given me a lot of confidence. Now whenever I'm attacking companies, I go full-blown confident. If it works out, well and good. In my line of work, rejection is part of the business. Out of 10 people, 8 will reject you, but you don't need all the 8. You only need 1 or 2, and you've closed 3 years of business. That's all you need.
I would like to top up.
I think, Doctor,
I would like to top up with a.
Can we ask them to clap for this guy, please?
I would like to share my experience, to top up his experience. Well, my principle is I don't want to see a patient twice over the same issue. So when I deal with a patient, I want to sort this patient off once for all. And God has helped me that it has worked for me. Now, maybe that is the reason that at one time there's a company. It's a global company. It's called Bancroft. It's based in Washington, D.C., but they have a branch in Mogadishu. Now, they wanted a general surgeon. When they talked to our bosses here, Uganda, they asked my bosses, they wanted a surgeon. And I just got a message from my boss, are you willing to work in a mission area for 1 year? I said yes, and that was all. Then all along, they had been submitting people's names, and then Washington, D.C. takes like 2 months to verify papers. They screen to the last dot. They even call your primary school, they call wherever, whatever you put on your papers there, they first follow them up. How was this person? Yeah? So, then after getting that message from my boss, I was like, if it works out, well and good. If it doesn't, but it was some good cash. So after a week, it was 3 days, they told me, go to the office of chief of staff, and they give you the contact to submit your papers. I went reluctantly because I know we have these guys. Toyita. Then when someone knows you're penetrating somewhere, has to make sure that they follow to the spot. So I was like, if it works out well and good, I submitted my papers. Trust me, it took less than a week. And the feedback was back, and they sent me my visa telling me, report in Mogadishu. Leaving that now short period of assessment, for me it was a surprise on my side as well. But what does that mean? That whatever you do it with all your heart to perfection. So that even if someone is your enemy, will say, I don't like that girl, but she's the best in this. You get it? Hey, naye wano yakola ki? Yaayitawo. And by the time I left Bancroft back to Uganda, I got at least an award of outstanding surgeon. Very hard to get from those guys. Very hard. They are those who have worked with Bancroft and they've never left with even a certificate. And instead, they send them back to their countries. And when they reach their countries, they send them termination letters. I left with an outstanding surgeon award. I thank God. It is very good to get from them. So whatever you do, do it with all your heart. If you're working for in somebody's company, as long as you want to earn from it, your salary and allowances, personalize it. Make it your own. In that, if it was your own, what else would you add? Not working for hours. For us, we begin from 8:30 to 2 p.m. My working hours are finished. They are finished, but what have you accomplished? You get? At my workplace, I limited myself. One, I don't want to bounce patients. That's my principle. So I'll make a theater list. I go through it. I know this is a major case. It took 2 hours. These are 3 hours. Then I put other small ones. I can make a list of like 6 patients or 4. Because I know those ones, by hook or crook, even if I get emergency, gamba, no, go order from above other patients, I'll be able to finish that list. Should anything happen, I'll make sure that this patient, schedule this patient another day. We agree, please. Because of ABCD, I did not work on you, but I'll clear your problem on this date. Not just bounce because you're working for government. You understand? Just personalize and put yourself in those shoes. If you were the owner of this project, what would you want your workers to do? You get? And that character, or that when your boss will always see.
People are watching.
They will always see. And even the customers will give feedback to the bosses. They say, out of all your workers, that person loves her work. You get? And for you, that's a credit on your side. When they're thinking of narrowing workers, you will always be left, despite other weaknesses. Because you can never be perfect. It's hard. Now, I don't know whether you had finished.
Yeah, I want to conclude, and I want to ask the audience to clap for you, Doc. So the other day we had a Music Evolution activation at the National Theatre. And after the performance, there's a guy who said in the audience, that thing hit me so bad. And I've been thinking so much about it. But Doc, you've emphasized the point of being exceptional. People are watching. People are. If you forget anything from this discussion, at least you see we all agree on the issue of be exceptional. The second thing is people are watching you. Emma, you don't know how I feel about you now. I've been watching you. I used to have a very big relationship with music until I saw that I needed money, and I didn't see the music bring in the money first. I knew that we have to do service, church, for music. But I also thought I could make this music the profession. So I left. I am so attached to people who do it exceptionally. So I've been watching you, Emma, and you don't know what I'm thinking for you, but good things. Emma, and guys, I want to announce a blessing on Emma. Like, may your work, the wife will come. These are simple things. There are so many girls here. Emma, may your work from today start paying. May your effort from today start paying. And it's going to start paying. I think your mom used to say, Patrick Atusabide, I don't know. Those days she would say that whenever I pray, something good would happen. You know, she would say, you pray. So, Emma, I've told you, for some reason, there's a way God listens to me. It's a privilege. It's a privilege. So, guys, people are watching. Everything you do, people are watching. Okay? The other thing is, remember, how you make people feel. It's very important. So don't forget those things. As I finished Saxon, I know a number of you remember when I used to work at Prime Radio. I struggled, but I loved it. And I saw some two ladies who told me here that, they came to greet me. They said, we used to listen to you. Have you left, guys? I think they've left. Oh, there's a fun there. I used to host the show, the popular show on Prime Radio called The Soul Cruise every Sunday. And I know whoever listened to it remembers. But anyway, Isaac, you remember the hassles. You know, at times I would walk to Chireka. You know, I see even PK there. You remember? Some of you knew. I was hitting it hard. There are things, if you could read beyond what you would listen to, you would see I was a struggling soul that had some things. You know, the other thing, what people see, now some of you see Emma as music. There's more the guy is. What we don't do is we don't give each other chances. People just want to see you, hey, hi, and then you go. And that thing is here in church, complacency. Hi. You go there and struggle. You struggle, you be there and suffer. The person you're living here would be the person. But I'm also not saying that people here are so godly. There's some bad character. They want to kill talent. Oh, you tell them your thing and they're like, so I suffered that nonsense of telling people we can do this, we can be this, and they're just looking at you. You with your shoes, with your button shirts. I want you to come now and say the same things. You come and say the same things. Okay? There's one thing they forgot. I was pleading to God. I was saying, you've seen me serve at your what? At your house. Genuinely. I was lobbied by KFM then. The show I did on Sunday was better than all the shows you used to listen to on your Capital and KFM. I would hit the Easy Sunday they would lower down Easy Sunday KFM. I would hit them. Sanyu didn't have a Sunday thing. Capital didn't have. I was number one. But they would say, that is a Christian station. I would say, this is God, not Christian. This is God's thing. Okay? It should be the best. So when I did the best with God's thing, he had my prayer. Because so many years ago, I had talked to the richest man in the world then, Jeff Bezos. And I shame upon all the people who thought I was mad. Like, I remember some people I told, I had a talk with the richest man in the world, and I barely had nowhere to sleep. I would sleep at a friend's hostel in Sibirwa. And they're like, boss, I had an appointment to meet the guy in Barcelona. I barely had where to stay. And nobody believed. This is what I would like to tell you. If you're if you're a deep believer, they will not understand you. If they did not understand Jesus Christ, who was too obvious, how do you expect them to understand you? People will even run away from medicine. You want to kill us with medicine, which is supposed to heal them. So this is what you do. If you know how to swim and you've ever been in the water, dive and think in the water. Why do you babble to people? They will kill the dream. But there will be people out there, and I want to credit non-Adventists, the people out there, but Advent. So don't stop trying on people. God will plant some people away from church to help you grow an idea, something, or your dream, or your business. Then eventually you can come and impact your church like I want so much now to impact the music in church. Okay? My last journey of 2023, God came out. And it's like, you undermine my people. So this started with when I met the former president of Malawi. Not the things of posing with pictures. We had a meeting. So then the second meeting with the president of Zimbabwe. And we were discussing how do we better the gold business in Africa. Some people were like, how did he get there? In 2014, I started something called People and Minds. Find it on YouTube. It's there. Struggling Soul again. Reporting about the mining sector, trying to understand it. I have one ability. I have a science background. I can barely understand everything. I can literally understand everything. Okay? And then people are telling me you can't know everything. Do you believe in God? Does God have a limit? Is there anything big? I bring God close to me. You bring anything, we can complex code it. So I met Mnangagwa then. We had discussions of wonderful things. I thought it was enough. You saw when I was with the president of Kenya, Ruto. And then after we were with who? Tinubu. I've met the president of Nigeria twice. Guys, the story and the life of my life, it didn't start in 2023. It started long way before when nobody could understand me. I was struggling in there. I had the ideas. Isaac, What didn't we talk about? We can change this. We can. What don't you know? The good thing is I have evidence of people who know me here. They know that guy used to talk about this. He will talk about that. Bro, I talked about then. I am doing now. So do not stop believing you could be that which your generation and family have been waiting for. Emma, I'm speaking to you. You were a lawyer, right? You were state attorney. You are what your family has been waiting for. What your church has been yearning for. Please don't give up on you. Be so exposed to the extent that there's nothing else to know about in Uganda. Then you wait and see how opportunities won't come to you. I close.
Thank you, Patrick. Actually, I want to conclude because we're running out of time. No. Of course, that's what I'm saying. Dr. Natasha is going to give us a brief. And then I want to ask her to also, in the conclusion, engage some of the challenges, especially now you have, you've been in ABA for some time. I know there have been challenges there. But what I want to know is, as you've been doing business there, what have been the challenges and how have you been to mitigate them? And with that, I will, after she has spoken, we'll have about 2 or 3 questions from the audience. then we'll close. I want to give these choirs a chance to finish up our sundown. Thank you very much.
I'll begin with the last thing, and I'll share my experience, my life experience. The challenges we've had in ABF. SDS are not transparent. They are not faithful workers. It's very sad. I have talked to a number of entrepreneurs, people all having businesses, and they've put in church members. You feel like, why should we have, non-working capacity in the church? Because when we work, that's when each of us will be able to bring tithe and offering to the church, so that God's work goes on. You get? But you employ somebody, and somebody comes just to bring down your project, shamelessly gives you an accountability of 100 million, and she has nothing to show you. You get? And then you regret. We wish we had employed a non-church member, because they would be on their toes. If I don't do well, they will fire me. You understand? What does this mean? Banange muvemu obusirusiru n'obubumbatuutu. SDS, people are getting fed up of employing you in their projects. They are getting fed up. On a serious note, omwana afuna omulimu, he's a professional, naye ate nadda mu kubba. So unless you talk to yourself and improve your communication with God, please allow God to work in you. You cannot talk about Jesus when you cannot walk the talk. You cannot. It's useless. You'll not be making a difference with the other people who do not know, who do not understand God. SDS, we are enriched, we are empowered with everything. Faba manyi ebyobulamu, health and temperance. Faba manyi the real gospel. You get? Now, why don't you want to be that Christian that you have read about and been taught about? There is no way you're going to be exceptional at your workplace. With laziness, you cannot head where you want to be. I swear you cannot. Now, I've told you the challenges. It's lack of transparency. On the same note, it's the same thing that affects working as Adventist, even if it is not ABF. You get? Several people are complaining of the same thing. Whether kukozesa ku farm, whether kukozesa mu company chi, it's the same complaint. Now, you've got a feedback. Go down at your place in your bed and assess yourself. If I was given a chance to work in project A, how would I implement? And when you begin implementing, don't be so good at the beginning, and after getting used to the system, you begin thinking that it's your father's project. You have to be consistent and even improve, work better. You get? Than how you started. There used to be a motto somewhere in Bugolobi, leave Uganda better than you found it. So, leave that project or live within that project better than you found it. And you'll always leave a legacy. When you leave a legacy, at the other side of the coin, they'll say, Aba 70 today bakozi. And you'll have worked for God. Na yebye mugenda mukola ku mirimu gye mukola. Kakati bisubya n'abalala okola ki? Okufuna emirimu. So we have a lot to do as Christians. Katonda atambulira mu ggwe. How much is deep inside you is depicted by how you perform, how you implement, what comes out of you. That's on a serious note. Now, the ambassadors sing it very well. Tibuli muntu akole ki? akebere omutima gwe okitegedde. Now I told you I can give you my life experience and what has built me. I did not become a surgeon all of a sudden. This is to the students. Maybe it can build you and empower you. It can build you zeal. When I was at the age of 6 years, I was involved in a road traffic accident, a massive one. And I got multiple fractures. I got open head injury and I lost part of my brain. There, at Bugolobi, at Mobs, there, where there is a train and road, there. So, I came from a humble background. So basically, okay, I will not narrate everything that happened in the hospital, but just to know I was neglected. And my mom was working in Mulago Hospital. Why were I neglected? Because they assessed me when they reached with me in the hospital. I was just, according to them, they knew I was just to take a few hours to die. Okay? Because everywhere there were no pulses, there was no sign of life elsewhere apart from the brain. Here it was open roof, and here there were holes, so they could see the brain shaking. That was the only sign that this thing is still living. You understand? I'll not give you the details of it, but God pulled me out, and you cannot know the disability I got from that accident. I don't limp. I understand very well. I'm a general surgeon. After leaving my brain there, I don't know what I would be. What would I be? An engineer? What? Something better than a surgeon. Okay, that's so. I took so long in the hospital. After 2 weeks of my stay in the hospital, I was told that I started hissing. You know hissing sound? Like a snake. Non-stop. Meanwhile, my mom and my aunt who was working in Imbuya Military Hospital were getting this and support from themselves to just punch this baby of theirs. If it dies, well and good, but they kept on injecting. I don't know what they used to inject. They were all nurses, Then after, and these guys were doing a ward round. There is a time I understand they were doing a major ward round, the professors who were working with my mom. Then they had that hissing sound. And then they were like, where is that sound coming from? Then one of them was, Sister Miriam's daughter's child. Hey, that child has not yet died. But still they continued with they were drowned. Okay? They did not come to attend to me. Now, let me jump a bit. After a month, I started crying non-stop. I think now I was gaining back senses. So I was in pain, I think. I was unconscious. I didn't know what was happening. So, still on the major ward round, the consultants were asking, including that, I will not mention his name, because he died. He asked, where is that child? Why don't you find a way of making that child keep quiet? They were like, it is Sister Mire's child. You mean that child is not yet dead? Then now they marked all of them to the kabode there. You understand? Here, this limb was crushed. The femur bone was crushed at this level, and all this remained in the rod. This one had multiple fractures here, everywhere. Okay? So now the orthopedic people now began running up and down to manipulate the bones. They told my mom they are going to put a metal in my thigh, in my left thigh. She said, no, don't put your metals. Then the neurosurgeon, he thought of what to do, but he had nothing to do in any case because the brain, the skull remained there. At moves, You get? So, but it taught me a lesson. I did not know I would be what I am. Yeah? I didn't know I would even ever be a medical personnel, though I had loved to be one when I was young. Abamu bazanya kubeera maama, abalala bazanya kubeera bagole, nze nazanyanga kubeera nansi. Nga njagala nnyo abasawo. Now, okay, let me skip some stories there. Then, I happened to study clinical medicine. I did a diploma in clinical medicine. But before, when I went to the training school, the principal tutor chased me. He told me, we are not recruiting children here to come and do clinical medicine. I told him, but the ministry has admitted him. He said, no, I am not allowing you in. He got out with me and showed me big men, real men, like the size of Emma, and older. Are you ready to sit with such men in class, the same class? I told him, yes. The ministry admitted me. So whether they are old men or not, it's none of my business. I came to study my course. The guy was like, I'll have to discuss with the ministry. Me, I was like, now what I have to do? I have to do whatever I have to do the right way. I have to be in the right place, doing the right thing, so that these guys don't chase me. For real, eh? Now, clinical medicine, I finished it. But just like he said, don't down look on yourself. Yeah? I had to ask myself, how better can I be? Yeah? How best can I better myself? I went and did undergrad medicine. Yeah? And for sure, I want to assure you, I paid for myself. How the money, let me tell you, there is a principle here. There is no big problem. It's only big before starting it. The moment you start it, how things get sorted, you can never know. I finished my 5 years and I see now at the budget, there are 100 shillings. Yet I was paying for myself. I could study for 2 weeks in a month, every month. The 2 weeks was for juggling around looking for money. And at the same time, I was married, so I had to produce. I was multitasking. Now, and I was married. Now, I finished the undergrad and on time. Now, the experience I want to share with you. When I was at undergrad also, this Sabbath was for church, because that's what I know. We had a lecturer, he shifted his classes from Friday to Saturday. And then the time for classes, for teaching us, he took it for drinking with the students. I even ever went and talked to him. Is it possible for you? Okay, what do you do from 2 p.m. Friday to 5? He said nothing. I'm like, why don't you hold your classes in the right time when your classes are scheduled? I have not been an easy person also. I told you short people. So the teacher was like, you see, it's your colleagues who have talked to me to change the classes to Saturday, and that's why I changed. I'm like, so that means some of us have to be missing out classes, and yet we have to make the percentage to do the finals. You think the guy had? He did not. So I said, fine, I will see what to do. So I could go to church. When I come back in the evening, I make sure you have to identify bakasazo in every subject. Okay? Je basomeseza ku Saturday. Kati bakasaza abo ne bakuliramu. Mwasomye eki topics 2-3. Ne bakuliramu. Mze kyenfunye ku board tekifuluma mu mutwe gwange. Ne mu discussion. Kati ne bakuliramu. This day ne bakudiscussing your topic ekoze eki? Ewedde. Basomye eki ekirala, they read this. So always have plan B with you. You're going, unless Bugema starts medicine there. Now, you people who don't know what you're going to do tomorrow. Unless Bugema holds all the faculties there. But if you study from the other universities, there are classes on Sabbath, there are exams on Sabbath. You get? And then they might mandatorily tell you to worship on their Sunday. My daughter was in the JSS, in the high school. And then she could first read her Bible. By the time the priest comes talking about reading his things, for her she's done with praying, but she's there physically to fulfill their demands. Yes. So then my colleagues were telling me at undergrad, Natasha, you leave these worship things alone. We came here, all of us, to do what? To study. But now for you, the whole of Saturday, you don't attend classes. I told them, I assure you, if you're doing this course in 5 years, I am also doing it in 5 years. The God who started it has to find a way of how I do what? I finish it. Why? Because I was also putting in all my all. Yes. I was also attending the discussions. Yes, what else have they done that I've not done? But you see now, you're not here for 2 weeks. We don't know even where you go. They don't have looking for fees, you know? And then they're like, you're going to fail, Natasha. I assured them I will not fail. I will have to pass. If you're passing on first attempt, I am passing on first attempt. And guess what? Finals came in 5th year. My husband rings me the day the timetable for exams was released and told me he was jailed. I told him, talk to your relatives. They will get you out. He said, it is you. I said, now, sincerely, I've been struggling with my fees. This guy was looking at me. Now his hardship have come. I have to go in. I wasted a full week. I remained with 1 week to read for finals. So I was in Kampala here to jog around to see how he can get out of Mabusu. Mm-hmm. When I was assured that the following Monday they would release him, I went back to school and I read for 1 week. And the way they were examining us, it was cumulative exam. They set a paper. Each question has work from 1st year to 5th year. A is 1st year work. B is 2nd year work. C, you get. Nengamba ya bas. God's grace is sufficient enough. I did not get any supplementary, but one of them who used to be on my neck, and she was the best in surgery. She had the best cut mark in surgery. She got a retake in surgery. Surprisingly. Then there's another colleague also who used to be in good faith. Natasha, leave those things and, so that we can pass these things and you'll embark on, on those church things. He got a retake in obs and gain. You get? Actually, most of them got retakes. Now me, I was comfortably telling them, I have to pass. Because I believed, if God managed to bring me this far, is the remaining part the biggest? No. You get? Now, some of you were sympathizing with me because I got a severe open head injury with brain matter loss. Did you?
Yes, we did.
You don't have to. God was preparing me to be a medical profession. Yes. A good one. Now, you cannot tell. And then he pushes me to a SMEDI department. That is surgery. That's where you have smelly wounds. You'll have rotten, parts of the body. You operate, you open somebody's abdomen, garinga toilet. You will never find my mouth in the nose. Never. That is the disablement I got from the accident. The disability I picked from the accident was poor smell sense, impaired smell sense. And unless I tell you, you cannot know. I can pick a few things. So, no patient wants to know ntiawunya. Kati mwabaja, because you're putting on your clinical coats. You never hear me talk about that. You get? So the patients always want the other one. Nga their patients, nze nga mpitawo. So, whatever happens to you, whatever tough times you go through, they are preparing you for a better tomorrow. It's not just for clapping. It is to understand what is the circumstance around you that you're facing. This business of saying, why me, Lord? Who do you want it to be? Who do you want it to be? Whenever you face a challenge, you get? Just go back and ask God, God, what do you want me to know from what I am going through? Does what I am going through lead me anywhere? And avoid thinking negatively about the circumstances around you. The moment you begin thinking negatively, talking about the box, you will never think out of the box. Because there is no stressed person that ever gets out of it. It is not until you say, no, must be a blessing in this, guys. So how do I utilize this? How can it be a blessing to me? And then you come out of yourself. And that is what pushed me ahead. No. Yes, I've done undergrad. I have to push forward. My passion was more in obs and gyne. But then I got a challenge. It was headed by a guy who was, he was a nososcope person. I said, no, I am not going to study my 3 years, painful 3 years, and come back and work under him. Yet the one in surgery where they had placed me to organize it is pampering me, Natasha, what, you get, eh? I said, let me go for surgery. You get, eh? Yes. And then that's when I realized, actually, God was preparing, the other accident was preparing me to be a better surgeon. Yes. Any challenge, me, I do not want to hear those things. For me, my parents died, therefore I did not study. Not all that have studied are doing well. How many universities do you know are owned by graduates? How many? In Uganda only, where you are. How many?
The private universities, right?
Yes. How many of you do you know?
There's one in Kasanga. Dr. Hassan Basajja Balam. I don't know. Huh? He's not a graduate, I think. Yeah.
He's a senior 4. This is a guy whose father rejected at 1 month. Basajja the senior. And the mother went with him to Kasese Bwera. She looked after the boy up to P7. Then she got stuck. You get? Nakwata akana nakaze waabwe kuba amanyi eyakamuwa. Namuletera akana ke namugamba omwana wo ki wuno, and she went away. The other children were there balimo ki bakulide mu life eyo, planned kids. Now this boy, because he had no rapport with those ones basanzeeyo, he used to go with the father to the Hides and Skin, which is opposite the university, KIU, Ishaka Western Campus. Kati nabeera ng'agenda ne taata we kuba yeka gwakoze eki gwamanyi bagwe bamulaze ye taata we bali abala tabamanyi era tebamulabawo. Mukitegedde? Kati unfortunately that was now the blessing. Yeka by the time the senior died, who knew how Hides and Skin business runs? Mukitegedde? Era n'azisigalamu. Now he asks himself, my grandfather, the great, constructed Basajja Balaba Primary School. My father constructed Basajja Balaba Secondary School. Should I also construct a secondary school? No, I have to construct a university. And that is why he jumped into university construction of KIU. You get? What do you think made him that? It is the hard time from childhood that he went through. He has very many siblings. Abaliba planned the kids. And literally did they know how to move on with the father's business. Ochiraba. So, I want you to sit down and understand and list down the challenges you're going through and ask God. It's not all about praying and praying and praying and praying. You have to understand the circumstance that is around you. That is when you look for solutions. You get? That's when you appreciate that they're there for your benefit. God can never be here. I can also echo the same statement. I always tell it to myself. God has never created me to suffer. But challenges are part of life. I am sure that with him, when I do his work, he will do my work. You get? And if you trust in him, gwekola bibye, ebibyo bimuleke. Kasito omubuulirako nti Mukama, I want 1, 2, 3, 4. In this period of time, this matter now. There is a time I quarreled with God. I was at school. My maid, I went to class, I had an exam. By the time I got out of exam, the maid who I had just paid the previous day, ngadduse mbagambe nali nfumbirwako, bwenzala, bwensoma, bwenoonya ssente zeeweerera. Multitasking. Okay? Ngenda okudda nga maid yakoze eki? Yadduse. Okiraba? Ate akaana ne kalwala, amasanyizi ne gagenda, nga kesika, my son. You know? Ne ngamba Katonda, tulimu exams. Bw'oba owulira akaana kalina kufa, I don't want to miss 2 things. Kafe kati. Yes. Kuba ngenda ku missing exams, oba nzigwe ate n'omwana akole ki? Afe. Kati bwe kaba nga tekagenda kufa, tekaddamu kwesika. So that I can concentrate on exams. I swear, the child never convulsed again. ne temperature teyaddamu. Ne temperature teyaddamu. So, when you're talking to God, what does that mean? Why did I bring it out? When you're talking to God, be as direct as possible. Musabe choyagala. Tomusaba chotayagala. Don't give me a short husband. Don't give me. Tell him what you want. Okay? Tell him what you want. And be focused with an open heart towards that. Be focused. You get? Adventist, I've talked about it. With God, I've talked about it. What else? So, I think for me, even if I'm given a day, I can talk. I can talk. Now, lastly, this one, whenever I get an opportunity to encourage you to surf through with the principle of the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know.
What is to surf through?
To surf. Now, like how many females are inside here?
I think they are more than the men.
Okay, they are like a percentage of 70 to 30.
Yeah, it's almost like 70.
How many are married men here? How many are married? Just hands up. They are around 5.
They're about 6, yes.
So only 6 men are married in this what? In this congregation. Okay? How many are above 25 years?
Married or unmarried?
Unmarried. Above 25 years. Above 25 years. Men. I'm talking
unmarried
about men.
Above 25. Abasajja abatali bafumbo
nga mulina emyaka 25.
Basuka emyaka 25. Emikono mukiteeke waggulu nga
lwaki mulowooza nkibuuzizza?
Tetumanyi.
Nkibuuzizza lwa nsonga nti bw'oba osomye medicine nga tozzeemuko kibiina somewhere mu primary oba mu secondary by 25 years oba okola ki? Oba omaze degree yo. That is, medicine is the longest course. Okay? Yes? Kakati, I want us to have the wisdom. Nti we want to carry out obukristaayo bwaffe. Okay? Ate era we have to understand our physiology. Our anatomy and physiology. Okay? Properly. This is Sibiru mam. Now, for females, you have to make sure okuzaala omwana ali bright oyina muzaalira either mu teens or 20s.
19,
30s,
20.
Teens and 20s. You get?
Teens they come up with 19.
The moment you clock, listen up. Excuse me. The moment you clock 30, you become a risky mother to yourself and to the baby. You get? Munfuna. Now, when you go beyond 35, nga tonnazaala mwana asooka. Obuzibu buliki?
Bungi.
Weebuli. Chances ez'okuzaala ba Down syndrome, okuzaala bifanefane abnormalities biki? Nyingi. Tekitegeeza nti buli omu ajja kikola ki? Kukifuna. Okay? But the chances are what?
Are
high. Okay? So, if you're having flies, a lot of bees running towards this flower, I mean the you who is in 20s, make up your mind as fast as you can. Okay? This business of saying, no, nze kakati me I'm still young, kakati ngenda kusoka nsome, kakati ate wena mala kusoma, simanyi ate nkole ne masters, simanyi ate nsooke nkoleko ku ssente, okitegeera? Otuuse okudiba. Now, on the side of the males, this serious, no.
Doctor kubaonya.
On the side of the males, on the serious.
Tukubemu ku masasi.
This is not a joking matter.
Yes.
On the side of the males, the Bible says, Katonda bwe yabagatta omukyala n'omwami ne bafuuka omuntu atya? And he gave them the blessing of joy. Where is that joy? Wanji? Asoma ayina omwoyo asoma ebbaluwa omwoyo kyagamba ekkanisa ye. Okay, so I'm not sending you to fornicate, no, but instead of recruiting people's daughters nga bw'omala obwetaavu bwo, I'm talking about you who has finished your course, your studying, and you don't want responsibilities. Temwagala kusettlinga, mwagala musettlingire mu 40s. Now the challenge you have is you're spending much more because buli lwo recruiting akawalo olina okukabusasula highly. Okiraba? And it's unlikely okujjako ng'oli mukaba nnyo ekyenkaniddawo nti ojja kukabasanya bakkanisa. Okitegedde? Emirundi egisinga bajja ku repairinga off. Ogenda oyuzinga obwana bw'abandi eyo ebweru. Okay? Naye nga you cannot develop yourself. Munfuna? Todevelopinga kubanga buli lwekajjo kawaayo 10. Ate ng'oli bwona omuwasa lumu kasita agamba iddu services za bwerere buli lunaku. Emitwalo 10 gye wandibadde ospendinga ku buli olunaku lumu n'okolamu ekintu ekyamagezi. I'm serious. Ndi serious. No, it's not a joking matter.
Doctor, tukuwuliriza.
Mwagale temwagala, whether you like it or not. Yeah?
Zero grazing.
Whether you like it or not.
Yes.
A man is active in his 20s. I don't want to talk about teens. I don't expect you to have sex in teens. So, a man is sexually active normally in 20s, 30s. 45. Obuvunaanyizibwa butandika omukola ki? Okumulyawo, stress, responsibilities at workplace, neyesanga he underperforms. Okay?
Yes.
Now, if you think you're going to marry at 40, that means you're not going to enjoy this world, especially if you're planning to marry at 40 and you've been a faithful what? Christian. Okay? Ekitegeeza ensi ogivaamu nga bw'okola ki? Bw'wagiyingiramu. What does that mean? Mulekeraawo okozesa abaana b'abandi, settle early so that you can even save more. Okay?
Bane Dr. tumukubire ku ngalo abasajja.
Nammwe abawala.
Thank you, Doctor.
Mwe abawala. This business of you have a chance at 20s, you're having bees, a lot of bees coming, to pollinate. They're coming, and you repair. Ogenda ku repairinga paka ku last minute odibe.
Abachala namwe Doctor mukubire go ku ngalo lw'ensonga.
No, serious. Kubanga kitosusa 35 noyingira 40, 35 there 38. Ekivaamu ng'otandika kunoonya abasajja abafiisaako abaki? Abakazi baabwe. Okiraba? Lwaki onoonya ssemwandu? Why? Have you lost a husband?
Doctor, please use English, please. We have people who are not understanding in Luganda here.
So why do you look for a man who has lost his wife? And yet you had all the privileges. You understand? So, you go back, think through, stop hardening life. If a man comes and says, I want to go to your parents, this is a serious man. If you make a list of qualifications, 10 of them, qualities, 10 of them, and someone, the hardware gets 5 out of 10, that is a perfect match. Yes, 5 like this, out of 10. That is a perfect match. Why? Because also you're not perfect. So you'll bring your strength, list down your strength also. Okay? Bwoweza ake 10, nkusiba tojaziweza. So if you can make 5, then you bring your 5, fit in here, in his 5, and they become what? And they become 10. Yes? When you begin your journey as a husband and wife, there are things you will automatically find yourself you're no longer fit to do them. So on the other side, my wife has adjusted. On the other side, the husband will say, The wife will say, my husband used to drink. Now no longer does what? Drinks. Because even him, he sees it's not Christian enough. You get? And then you move. You get? And the moment you choose to get married, just know you're two imperfect people coming together to stay for life. Choosing to stay together for life, not for temporarily. You get? And it's better you don't pretend even at the beginning of the relationship. Show the man who you are exactly. Show the woman who exactly you are. Don't cover up yourself with butter and cheese. And then tomorrow after the wedding, you begin bringing out the true you. You understand? So, some questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you see, it's waiting. So I'm going to give 2 questions only. Prefer a male and a female. And then we'll have, after that, we'll have streams of life. We want to conclude because it's coming to 7. So I'm going to invite 2 questions. Made, you look like you have so many questions. You may have to engage doctor on a personal level. I want someone who has a question that is not going once, going twice. Yes? You have a question. Okay, that's 1. This is 2. Yes, please.
My question is regarding the Adventist profession. The Adventist profession. Many times, for the people that have joined the professional world, especially people that have had a chance to work with government,
Yes.
we are, I don't want to call it an obligation, but for lack of a better word, I'll use obligation. We are obligated to help uplift our fellows in the faith.
As a social cause.
Yes. For example, if I get a gig that is in the government, and I know someone who is in the Adventist fraternity that would be able to execute that.
Yes.
Doesn't matter if they can execute it well, but they can execute it.
They can learn on job.
Yes. They come in and they start trashing the name. Should I say trashing? The name that we've built.
Oh, yes.
Over time.
Yes.
Now you look like you are the bad person. One, you've brought an incompetent person.
Yes.
To work for in the environment you work in, but at the same time they are tarnishing the name you've built. Now, should we stop recommending, connecting our Adventist fellows until they learn how to work in the same areas as we do, or should we just tugumire ekizibu kyaffe tugende nakyo?
Aso jagala kwani.
Ojalo Nako, we want to keep it, so I think one of you answer that question. Let me get the second question as well, and we'll answer them together. Yes.
Thank you so much. My question will largely point at the 2 gentlemen that are not into employment.
Patrick and
Yes.
Ronnie.
One, we don't know what you do. So I also wanted to ask you to give us as...
The petroleum engineer works with Total. He's in Hoima. Area wali ya mafuta ja kolaku.
Drilling engineer.
You said, but you said you're also into solar, did you?
They have got a company. The 2 of them run a company which is provides solar solutions.
Good. My question to the 2 of you, and probably him, how did you narrow down on what you chose to do? Was it just what was available?
What was possible, available.
Okay. Or did you identify with that specific niche? Because you will find a lot of people telling you, but now I leave my job and I do what? We're encouraging people to start businesses, yes? But our colleagues have a lot of challenges identifying what to do.
Okay.
You would think that if you give them capital, they will start anything. You can even give them a few ideas, but it's not as easy as it.
Saxon, I know we don't have time, and please, the young ones, don't feel that we don't know how special you are. You are so special, especially in the country, and we know what you've done. And being with you here, we just have too many problems. And we wanted to use the same platform to find answers. But I hope you enjoy the talk. Okay, we would love to listen to you sing, but we can't sing so many times. I'll personally visit your school, and I promise in my heart, I was like, what can I give them? I'll give you 1,000,000 shillings when I come to school, right? For you. So let me
Sorry,
answer
Patrick,
this question.
just to top up on his question, yeah, it's in the same line.
No worries.
So there's things that we do driven out of passion.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was speaking to one of the highly placed guys in URA,
Yeah.
and he was telling me that, you know what, as a man, you can't do
Passion.
what you want to do. You need to do
What pays.
what you have to do. Do what you. So what is where do I draw the line?
Yes.
Where do I draw the line between what I want to do and what I have to do?
Thank you, guys. So let me be honest.
Patrick.
Yeah, let me be honest on these answers.
Patrick, before you answer, so
Yes.
this is what you're going to do. My request is this. We are concluding. So we're going to have about 5 items from Streams of Life. Then after that, we'll just have a few hymns and then we close. We want to get the tea ready for you guys because it's getting late. So Patrick, as you
Let me
answer,
be honest. Ronnie will come in.
Ron will come in and then I think we'll answer
Okay.
her question.
Yes.
Then we close.
These questions are very important. I don't know. The feedback is too much. Guys, please, if you're already accomplished, this may not be your question. Your question would be, when do I get to make myself relevant so that the next time they are cutting on the number of employees, they don't cut me off? So that should be your question. These guys are saying, when do you move away from passion to actually turn it into money? His question is, when did we end into the things we are doing? How? Now, let me tell you this. Between out of high school, you should start deploying yourself on things. Now, some of us are lucky. The deployment started at P7. Akomuka ulide. Deployment jengamba, these things of jango mperekereko walioka site, they are going to, at the neighborhood, they are building a house. My mom would be like, ono mumutwale akole. That's what my mother used to say. I think we built some of your houses. Kati nyumba ya mweje musulamu, najipotako. So my mother would tell people intentionally, because his dad had this group of guys he used to use as a group of construction guys, and the guy called Kato, you know them, Oyo Yenga Mainti, and they used to come from Nabweru. Every time they came home, they knew we had some potters there. So deployment started early. Now, during that interaction, there's a guy, I want to tell you only the truth. I won't make it long, sharp. This guy is in a prison in China. He worked with a company, a videography company then at Kampala Road. The only videography company, big then. Used to be, you do state house gigs. P7, Palm Awards, Miss Uganda. I was at that set, that early. P7, 2000. Ngambeda ku set za Palm Awards. Very small, pulling cables. I would see all now the big musicians, you would name them. I would see how the world was interacting. Basidiru na balabandi muto nyonyo, Isaac Mulindwa, ba Elvis Sechanzi, Charles Mbile, MTN 15%, but name them. I started seeing the world at my P7. Exposure. You're saying how? Exposure. Okay? You must move or get a chance to move away where you want. Now, when I'm in school, our guy abali kwebye vyuma. Those guys are on a journey. If after some 5 years they own a TV station, don't ask where it came from. Those guys. If they are running a popular TikTok account soon, don't ask how it came. This is the orientation. At school at Hilton, who was there in 2006? I think nobody here. Memudi Batonyo. I was the one on camera, very small cameras. Okay? Why? In holidays, I worked with a videography company. 6 years in there. When I get out, what do? I was a super videographer, editor, graphics designer, motion designer. I did physics. My PEM there, I would now do motion graphics. Orientation in the holidays, exposure in the industry, I get into public relations. You see the launch? How do you? So my conversion rate of passion to money was easy. The school days were for me to try out passion. Nobody expected me to earn. Luckily, my mother died immediately after Form 6. That one first month in Kamala Form 6. I was a man enough to buy food at home, to take people to school, because our last born, who is an architect, I took him to school all the way, because by the time mom died, he was in P7. He's an architect now. You guys clap. No, he's not building my houses, he's building your houses. He's an interior, now he's a mix, he's an interior. But also I started the guy, I got him into photography, still graphic design, motion, when he was in Form 2. So ArchiCAD, all those AutoCAD solutions for architects, he knew them from house. So deployment must start early. The last one. Now, PR, I go into TV. I was at WBS then, the last hours when it left. Now, where NBS is. That was WBS infrastructure. So I was there briefly. I didn't like TV. Thinking outside the box. I loved technology, and this is why I think the church becomes, because church got me closer to God. Then I would speak to God about the future. God showed me so many things that will happen. Unfortunately, the people who said they were godly didn't believe in the things. I predicted WhatsApp because I tried to create one. I predicted all these, the buzz of, I think WhatsApp is, Facebook was 2005, right? WhatsApp was later, then social media buzz, all the things, I predicted them. That's when I was talking about Jeff Bezos, you know? So, one step will lead to the other. I started looking at the sectors that will move the world in the next so many years. Oil and gas, mining. I created what the easiest you would do. I wanted to do a TV show on mining and oil and gas. Nobody believed me. I wanted to do a TV show on tech. Nobody believed me. I created solutions within. One is people and minds. Another one is business tech, which became Omugundugwa Tech. Okay? So people and minds kept me in the mining sector, covering some bit of oil and gas and the extracts industry for about 8 years. So when I'm now into Africa Minerals Strategy Group, I did not land myself there. It was a game, a step by step. But the question he asked, be fast not to waste so much time. There should be some money in it to keep you going. Passion can burn all the tires and even burn the engine. And you are so irrelevant in society because of passion. But it's a good passion. So at every bit of the passion, the thing you do because of passion, there should be some bit of it that can actually earn money. And it goes to their accounts and pays school fees. It's passion. They are not singing for money, but it can actually turn around into money. That's what he does. It can now be converted to money. So everything you do, look at the chain in it. A certain level of it can turn into money. What I was doing about these TV shows, covering videos and that, I could cover events. So I did weddings, kwanjulas and that. I later dropped them and went into conferences and events. I hope I gave some answer to your question.
Okay, yes. 1 minute. Maybe to answer her. Can't hear myself. Maybe to answer her. I think business has simple principles. Input, output. The difference is your profit or your loss. Don't hire someone because you go to church with them, but they are incompetent. You're the one who takes the loss. Like you've said, you're my brother, you're my sister. I'll come and sing with your amazing grace. And we get into the professional world and do work. And of course, that's a call for everyone to be competent. You don't want to hire someone and you're still the one doing the work. Or you have to apologize on their behalf. Please, I'm sorry, I hired the wrong person. But still goes down to personal choices. Be responsible for your decisions. To answer him, I think for me, my journey is, of course, you can never predict. I'll be lying to myself that 3 years ago, I thought I would be doing what I'm doing right now. But I think it's be good at what you do. Things will come to you. Because you're good, they will come to you. But I think what is very important, what the differentiating factor is going to be decision making. Some decisions are hard to make. Sometimes, not everyone who leaves employment plans to leave employment to go and work. And not everyone is meant to start a business. Some people will work and they are successful in their line of work. So don't push yourself out because you see everyone is starting a business. Running business is so hard. It's easier to sit here on this platform, but 3 years ago, life was so hard. Yeah, but when the time comes for you to make a decision, you'll have to take a bold decision. I've done so many. In the interest of time, I won't go into the details. But to me, I think that's it. Things will come to you because you're good. And when they come, make the difficult choice if you have to. Yeah.
Yes. Let me also top up before I answer her. Okay, you're there. It is the Bible. I've forgotten the verse in the Bible, but it's there. It tells us that we should have 4 sources of income. So you can have the passion one, yeah, which you're enjoying, that even if they wake you from sleep, you do it comfortably, whether it is earning less or, yeah. And then you should have an investment, yeah, investment. That is what you put somewhere to earn for tomorrow, yeah. And then it says you should also have a source to be running your daily expenditures. Because remember, the other one might be professional that you're earning at the end of the month. What about on daily basis? The 4th one I've forgotten, but there are 4 sources of income. So what do I want to say is that apart from us who were not enlightened during our time, if they had told us earlier when we were still young, we would be different right now. But we thank God that we are still where we are. Now, so, as a man, never have one source of income. However passionate you are about it, never get satisfied with what you're earning from it. Because your family and where you come from are all looking at you. You get? So, you should always have a second source of income, which you can, these days the technology has improved things. You can do a business which you mount on phone. And then when you're done with a professional, passionate job, you go and supervise. You get? Yes. Of course, there are businesses you can do that require your presence on daily basis because no one is willing to work for you and for you come and pick money. Yeah? There are those businesses. But venture into a business that you think you can handle. A business that you think requires your presence there on daily basis will let you again drop your passionate. It's not good really for you to be waking up every day. Why you're waking up is to go and make money. You have no love for it. You get? This passionate work makes you rejuvenate yourself. I can give you an example. Every patient I work on and improves, of course they all improve, but every patient that improves after I have worked on them, I just feel like I have been paid 10 millions. I get that satisfaction. And that is the best. You get? Then tomorrow I walk with my neck high. You know, they count you among doctors when they are introducing people. You know, you have that class. You get? Whether the pocket is empty, I have that satisfaction. You get? It might not be tangible, but tomorrow, I assure you, I have people who will take a hand of my son, a hand of my daughter, because of my legacy. You get? Yes. So, passionate work, I wouldn't drop it. Carry it on for satisfaction. But also, you should have another source of income. If time allows, you can open multiple. Yes, as long as you know that you will supervise them. Now, back to Mama.
Doctor, in 1 minute. So
yes, the experience is a bit nasty, but thou shalt not stop doing good. Because if we say that we stop bringing in our Adventists, just know that this church is a hospital. It has people in ICU, including church elders. It has people in HDU, high dependence unit. They're on oxygen. They have people who are on a parenteral medication. The spiritual medication is Eita Mumusiwa in drips. They are all here and they are very active in church. It has those who are on oral medication. They're on tablets, capsules. There it has those who failed all medications. Then they're all serving in church. It has a few who got well. Abawona. But ononyo, the percentage is very small. Those who received their salvation and they walk the talk. Okay? They are very few. So if we stop bringing them, then we shall have collapsed the what? The church. God's work, all of us, we are sent to go and do God's work. No poor person will do God's work, I am telling you, however cheap it may be. The church needs the money. You get? So we have to bring them in, but we put boundaries. Okay? By the virtue that I entered the project before you, I am the one who brought you, I still have an upper hand. Yes, I can call for your transfer. I can call for your disciplinary committee facing it. You understand? If I feel blaming you from the other side might be hard, yes, I can take you to the church. Your pastor talks to you. You get? Otherwise, we shouldn't stop, because the church needs the tithe and offering. And even us, we are not that perfect. We have weaknesses that also and not please others. You get? Yes, even Jesus, they told you he stayed with these Simon Peters and he walked with them. But even the last time he was flying away, they had not understood him. Eh? What about these fellow human beings who eat and, go behind there? You get? We are all carrying weaknesses below our heels. We shouldn't expect anyone to be perfect. But the principle is, thou shalt not stop doing good, despite the challenges we face. And the more, pull them as much as possible. Actually, I'm not very happy. I'm not happy at all with the government officials who are well placed and they do not pull, they don't hold the hands of church members to get into the same government they are serving. And I give I don't know, wherever I go, I thank Madame Babalanda, Honorable Babalanda. That lady has helped the church.
I think we clap for her in advance.
She has done her best. The first time she stepped in the parliament, trust me, even a cleaner in the parliament was an SDA.
Doc, I think we should give out numbers for follow-up because people might need to speak to doctor.
Don't stop doing good.
Okay? Why don't you do that and then we close?
Allow me to please a big round of applause to the panel that has given us the dedicated time. As Patrick has said, I want to let me request Kennedy to stage up. We're going to get, they want to also share their numbers. I don't know if you want to share them publicly or you want to. No problem. Okay. I want to ask Doctor to read out her number. And Patrick and as well Ronnie, if you okay with that. Just to let you know, we have tea at the back there. So as Kennedy is performing, please feel free to get a cup of tea as you join us. Kennedy will give us, I was told, I said 4 songs, but they have asked me for 5, so they will do 5 songs. And then we will be wrapping up.
0707 3874 88 or 0775 50 70 70. Dr. Natasha Rugmayo.
Thank you, Doctor. Please a round of applause to Doctor. She has given us her valuable time.
My number is 0755 0755 140 292. 0755 140 292. Patrick Mulindwa. If you're stuck on something and you want to convert it into money, call me. Let's talk about it. Ronnie.
Ronnie, are you also able to convert things to money? Please give us your number.
This only WhatsApp, 0701 193061. Ronnie Ogwang. WhatsApp only.
Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Thank you very much, Pano, please, and may God bless you. Please be the first to go and take a cup of tea at the back as we have Kennedy Streams of Life with 5 songs. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Doctor.